Timmy, we were watching a lot of college hoops tonight, and we saw number 1 Villanova. Butler got on this evening, falling to number 18 Butler. So now we're just down to 2 undefeated teams in all of college basketball. They are number 2 Baylor after tonight's heart-stopping 65-63 over Iowa State. And then there is another team, Gonzaga, number 5 in all the land, still perfect. Who will be perfect longer? Because I don't think anybody thinks either one of these teams is going to run the tape.
Yeah, the answer is Gonzaga. I mean, they just have an easier schedule. They're not in a Power 5 conference. They don't play St. Mary's until the 14th. I mean, that's going to be their loss. Those other games are not even going to be challenging. So I think Gonzaga keeps winning. And if they beat St. Mary's, that game's going to be at home. It's going to be in the Kennel. It's going to be up in Spokane. If they win that game and everyone loses in front of them, they could be number 1 in the country.
Well, okay, is that kind of a Travis Shea mockery because of the out-of-conference schedule? And no offense to the WCC, but it's not a Power 5, as you mentioned. Gonzaga actually theoretically could be undefeated going into.
Who cares? Like everything else,
well,
who
cares?
cares?
For seeding?
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. You know what they look at? They look at your resume. Who have you beaten?
They're going to get a number 1 seed, and you're going to tell me that their best win is who?
I don't know their schedule as well as I probably should.
My point is St. Mary's going forward. That's the problem to me. If the best win that Gonzaga can have going forward is at St. Mary's and win the West Coast Conference by beating maybe again St. Mary's.
So what are you going to do? Penalize them for their conference?
Well, I don't know. We're just going to automatically move them up to number 1, as you suggest, if they're undefeated?
Sure. Who cares who's number 1? All matters about what seed you get, where you finish.
You know how important it is because a number 1 has never lost to a number 16 ever in the history of the tournament.
Oh, now you're talking about number 1 seed versus the number 1 overall ranking.
Yes, because that's how it plays into. This is where it actually factors in March, where it actually does matter.
Yeah, because the number 1 seed does matter. The number 1 ranking doesn't mean anything.
Agreed with that.
As far as Baylor, they have some holes in their game. You slow them down, you get them in the half court. They're not as efficient. If you can handle their pressure because they're long, they're athletic, then they're going to have some issues. They'll lose. I mean, they're not even the best team in their own conference. Who do you trust winning that conference? Guess who? Kansas.
It's going to be Kansas. They always win it.
We're talking about they've won what, 12 straight years?
Yeah, I mean, maybe Texas and maybe no, it's going to be Kansas at the end of the day.
Yeah, and you get some other powerful teams there. West Virginia's having a really nice year. Yeah. So, but Baylor's off to an outstanding start. Their resume is out as good as it gets in college basketball, but I think that they'll fall first before Gonzaga.
And my knock is not on Gonzaga. It really is not. But because great, undefeated's perfect. But do we just bestow them a number 1 seed? That's what I'm getting at. Number 1, you're right. I don't care about number 1. But do we go, well, they were perfect. So therefore, Gonzaga, because Mark Few's had great teams in the past.
If they go undefeated, they should get a number 1 seed. I mean, how about UCLA's out west?
Yeah, who do you think's better?
Yeah, and it'd be interesting to see if they shift guys around. It's so hard to predict what is going to unfold over the next 2 months. But if Gonzaga runs the table, they're getting number 1 seed.
For what? A win over St. Mary's in the conference win over St. Mary's.
You'd have to beat them 3 times.
That's it. I mean, it's nice, but you know what I mean? It's not like playing in the Power 5, as you mentioned.